Greetings from Northumberland, just after a stunning sunrise here on the 11th of November. In just 3.5 hours, the nation will pause on the 11th day of the 11th month and at the 11th hour to remember for 2 minutes those people who died in world wars. And of course this custom was instigated after the First World War, because the 11th day of the 11th month and the 11th hour marked the end of the fighting in 1918. And although the practicalities of Remembrance Sunday means it's easier to organise big events, at least not in most years, not this year, there is a particular power about the nation stopping for 2 minutes at 11 o'clock, breaking into our ordinary days this act of remembrance and this act of thanksgiving for all those who are scarred, suffering and who died as a result of human conflict. To break into our ordinary days reminds us of the importance of remembrance, of the importance of thanksgiving, and the importance of resolving to seek to live in peace and justice. And so we do that today. Alongside this, we commemorate a saint, and it's appropriate, perhaps, that this is a soldier saint. St. Martin of Tours, who lived in the late 300s and died just before 400, was a Roman soldier, probably from Hungary, and like many Roman soldiers became part of that sort of travelling force that the Romans used, taking soldiers from one part of an empire and transferring them to another for duties there. He became a Christian while a very young man, some say as young as 10, and his Christianity challenged the way in which he lived. One of the powerful stories about him is that he encountered a beggar at the gate that he was passing through. And seeing the beggar freezing cold, he takes his soldier's sword and cuts his soldier's cloak and gives the beggar part of that uniform in order to keep warm. And then in a dream, he sees Christ wearing that cloak and realizes that in giving to the poorest, you give to Christ. Martin stopped being a soldier at the end of his term of duty, and he began to study and to follow Christ more closely. He became a hermit, and eventually he was attracted to France, and under St. Hilary he was ordained. He continued a life as a hermit and as a person of prayer, but it was eventually called to become the Bishop of Tours, and did so on the understanding that he could maintain his religious life and the simplicity of the way in which he lived. And his life and his simplicity had a powerful effect, and he was renowned as a missionary. He was also renowned for treating those who were not followers of Christianity with greater compassion, and those who had different views within Christianity also with greater gentleness. And his life, the community he formed, standing it was on the road across Europe, began to have influence far beyond across Europe and even into the United Kingdom. And so we remember today this soldier saint who found Christ, who found compassion, and above all found a new way of living, of proclaiming the love of Christ to all those he met. We give thanks for Martin. We give thanks for the way in which he lived and the example he set. And we pray that we too may follow it. May God bless us all.